Okay, YouTubers, welcome to part 5. Right, we're working on the door now, getting the glass sorted. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to centre punch a mark where they're all going. Because I've got it all marked up now, I don't want to lose the mark. So if I centre punch them and then grind off, I've marked off on these little extender bits here, where the nut is, where I've got to grind off. So if I centre punch them first, then I'm not going to take my marks away. Right, we'll do that now. It's right in the middle there, so I'm going to have to remark that one. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind these off now outside. Okay, let's get this door drilled out. I'm going to put a pilot hole in first.
No, that's the right size, yeah. Okay.
Job done. Okay, I've tapped all the holes out now apart from one. Just wanted to run through a couple of things when you're tapping. This is an 8mm tap, an M8 tap. First of all, what I do is I always use a tap wrench that's not too big. You know, you do get bigger ones, you know, but because these taps are quite brittle, they're very hard and brittle, but I like to feel how much pressure I'm actually putting on it, because when I'm first starting off, I don't put any oil on. I want it to bite. I'm always checking to see when I'm starting, is it level? And then once I get it going, I get a turn or two, and then I back it off. Okay, then a little bit more, get a little bit more in, then get some oil on it. But if I had a bigger tap wrench, I wouldn't be able to feel that that over pressure, if you like. A bit of oil on it. Get it lubricated, and always just do like a turn back, especially in thick steel. This is what 6.5mm plate this is, so especially thick stuff, you know, it's not too bad on thinner stuff. You can get away with a couple of turns and then run it right through. There we go now. So we get halfway down the thread. That's it. And all the way through. And also, when you take your tap out, before you go to your next hole, always brush out the swarf. There, like that. Just get rid of it before you start your next hole. And that's the job done. Alright, so we'll get that cleaned up now, and then I'll get some threaded rod in it and get the bolts in it. Okay, this is a steel strap now that's holding on the glass, the back of the door. I've already made one, and I've just drilled two other pilot holes in the other strap. This is stainless steel, this is, so it's just a quick video on how you actually drill stainless. You must have your drill going as slow as it'll go. I've got this set up as slow as it'll go, so you can actually see it turning. So I've centre punched these now, and I've lined it up, I've clamped it down, so another drill bit's going to go in the right place. So now I'm just a dollop of oil, always helps when you're drilling, especially stainless, and then you'll see the swarf coming off, and it should be a nice continuous bit of swarf, providing the drill bit's sharp. Okay, just nice even pressure. Okay, see that swarf coming off now. There you go. Marvellous. Okay. And that's what you should have. A continuous, even bit of swarf. So that's perfect drilling, that is. But you always must go as slow as you can when you're drilling stainless steel. Okay, I'm going to open these up now. I'm going to open them up to 9mm. Well, that's the brackets done to hold the glass in now. So what I'm going to do now, before I start fitting everything, I'm going to start making the catch on the door now and crack on with that. Don't know how I'm going to do it now, so I'm going to have it on the bench and I'm going to be scratching my head a lot, I think, and working it out. Hello YouTubers, right, so we're on the door now. I've not touched this for a couple of weeks because I've been absolutely mental at work. But basically I've come up with an idea for the latch. This is a socket wrench that I found in my toolbox. I've got 3 or 4 of these. It's a 3/8 ratchet socket wrench. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be bolting that there. I've chosen this because it's got a nice little swivel on it, so we can chop that thing, that extender bit that goes into these sockets, chop that off and bolt it to the, okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bracket like a piece of angle iron. I'm going to weld it at the back and bring it out and just clear the door. So give it about what, 3/8, something like that from the door. Give it some clearance, and then in this bit here that protrudes out, I'm going to cut a slot down in it, so that will sit into the slot as it comes down. Now I've got 2 handles here, each side of it. There you can see there. Okay. Now you see the angle there coming off. Well, what I propose to do is I want that, when it starts getting tight, just to roughly be at the same angle as them handles there. Well, that's the plan anyway. So, well, first of all, I'm going to chop that bit off with get a cutting disc in the angle grinder and crack on with it. Let's do it. Well, I've decided against going outside and cutting it with an angle grinder, so with a cutting disc. So I'm going to use my hacksaw. It's absolutely chucking it down out there. I normally do my grinding outside, so let's get it cut. Well, there we go. So a quick file on that now and flatten it off. My new file, look at that, brand spanking newy, lovely. You don't realise how worn down your old files are until you buy a new one. I should run them up, do it, I think. Also on this one here, I've got that little bit of clearance from there to there, just to step it off the door a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is set this up on a drill press and drill it all straight through that. Right, so we're going to start off with the pilot drill first. Dollop of oil. I've had to take this out of the ratchet because obviously it spins. Right, now I'm going to follow this through with a 6.8, which is a an 8mm or M8 tap and drill. Okay, so I've got the door latch made now, and that's going to sit on, that's going to be welded on there, like I said before, with a slot cut out of it. Just a couple of pieces of 4mm plate welded together. But what I need to do first, I need to get my door handle mounted on the door, and so I can actually find out where it's going and where I'm going to mark it and stuff to actually cut the slot out. So we'll get on with that now.
Okay, let's get this drill.
And now I'm going to put a thread in that hole, so I need to open it up to 6.8mm. Job done. Let's get an 8mm tap in that now and put a thread in it. Right, 1/8mm thread. Right, I'm just going to insert this bolt in the door now. Just chop the head off it. Right, get that in the door. Screw this bolt in now. And the other side of this is going to be flush with this side of the plate, so the door doesn't sit proud of the frame. So that's round about there. Our ratchet now. I drilled this ratchet out 9mm in the end because it was because there's a lot of steel in there for it to tap through. And I didn't really need it because once the nut's tight, the normal dome nut's tight on it, doesn't need it. But that's fitting perfect. That is. There's our nice little dome nut there. So hold that at the back. And our spanner on it. That's our door handle fitted. Marvellous. Let's get it on the door frame and then don't mark that catch out. Okay, let's mark this out now. Now I did say that I wanted this on the same angle when the door's getting tight as these. So I want to be higher than that mark. Okay, so I've put that somewhere there. By the time that drops down, so there, do about there. That wants to be welded. Top of the bracket there. all marked up now. Right, let's cut these slots out. Now, I don't think you can see it from there, but if I block the light, let's get me brush there in a minute. Okay, I've actually, I don't know whether I blocked the light, whether you can see that, but I've actually scribed the mark down the parallel with the edge here, all the way down. Now what I want to do is, I'm going to drill my next pilot hole back this way, so the actual slot actually comes down on an angle, and that's what's going to pull the door up. And also, if it's on an angle, then when you actually lift the catch up, then coming up on an angle, it will actually push the door away from the frame. Obviously, because you've got the door seal there, so it might be sticky, I don't know. So I want to eliminate that. So I'm going to drill another hole further down. I'm not going to go too far down to the back here, because I don't want to lose the integrity of the strength of the steel here. So I'm going to drill it down a little bit further, but I'm going to bring it back this way, away from the mark, so it just slightly comes down on an angle and then pulls that door up. And then what I'll do is I'll open these up then to that 11.5mm, just well, 1/2 mil bigger than the actual size of the door handle itself. So. Marvellous. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut down now from the top all the way down to make these holes up, join them up together. Okay. So there you can see, it's on a bit of an angle. Let's just give it a better look. So there, like that. So as the catch comes down here, it starts getting closer to the door and pushes the door tight. And when you want to lift it up, it pulls away from the door and pries it away from the frame. So let's get that cut out anyway and see how we crack on. Okay, job done. So before I give that a file now, I'm just going to offer it up to the door frame and see how we lie, and see if it needs filing any. Should do, because I've cut inside the line there. Okay, that's the latch actually fitted now and welded on the back there. Okay, both sides there. Now let's close this up a little bit, pull it down, pulls the door up nicely there. Right, remember I've still got a door seal to put in there as well, some stove rope, so that's going to step it off a little bit more and make it tighter. But let's have a look at that now. And we're roughly at the same angle as the handles, which is what I wanted. Job well done there. Now I'm gonna fit all the threaded rod in here now for the feature dome nuts on the top and bottom there, and also the threaded rod for the glass brackets. So I'm going to get on with that now, and then I get it all, strip everything off it, get it cleaned up, and get it sprayed. Okay, so I'm preparing the threaded rod now for the door. Well, the bolts actually just chopped down like in the previous clip. So what I've done is I've not actually ground these, I'm just about getting them on. But what I want to do is make sure that this dome nut is fully tight onto this thread here. So rather than put the thread in the vise and tighten up, I don't want to damage these threads, you see, because I need to screw that into the plate all the way through. So my glass plate comes in then behind to hold the glass in. So what I do is just wind the nut on the good side, like that. And then wind that into that nut there. Make a lock nut, like that. I'll tighten them two together. Now that'll stop that from moving, and then I can get some more turns on this to make sure it's tight, like that. Okay, and then when this thread starts turning here, this bolt, that's when it's tight. Okay, so back this one off now. Back off, and that's solid on there now. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you the door now. Okay, that's what all the fuss was about, with all the nuts and bolts and threaded rod and glass and whatnot. But I thought of this idea from the beginning of the project, with the dome nuts, a nice black door when it's been sprayed, and nice stainless steel nuts, or dome nuts. And then we go the top two, adjust on the other side. They're just for show, like a feature to continue on with these. So on these, on the other side, the other bolts, they come straight through, and my brackets go on then and hold the glass in. So I've left a good length on them, because what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to, I'll take that off, as well as putting stove rope in there between the door and the glass, I'm going to be putting stove rope on there, and then plopping the bracket on top of it like that, just to give a bit more cushion and expansion as it's getting hot and cold and what have you. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm not sure what we're on to now, but I think we're not too far off getting it sprayed now. I think that's it. So next job is now get it sprayed. So I'll see you in the next video.